Hey, welcome to Steve Knows, and through all the madness about the Quest and the Rift S, it can be hard to know what we are actually getting. If you're not an Oculus headset owner, then this video is for you. I'm going to go over the top upcoming titles mentioned from the Quest launch list that we're not able to experience until we get an Oculus headset. So, the Oculus exclusives. Let's get started. BOGO. This game has been around for a while. It was on the Oculus Go and the Google Daydream, but many of us haven't played the game, and there is nothing like cracking open a cold beer, sitting on your deck chair, and going fishing. Father and son fishing trips can now be done in your own home. It has a 4 out of 5 rating on Oculus with nearly 25,000 reviews, so it's definitely a well-received game. And it's free. This game is a relaxed, meditated experience with calming river noises, where you simply catch fish. You cast like you would in real life, and that wasn't a pun. You cast like you would in real life. You'll get ranked on the type of fish you catch. Higher scoring fish are harder to catch and could require different baits, which can be purchased in the fish store. I love how you even have to catch the fish once you've taken it out the water. Any of you remember Bass on PlayStation 1? I know I'm going to enjoy playing this one so much. Next is BOGO. I've not heard anything about this since Connect 5. They did state this was a tech test for seeing how far they could push the software on the Quest. It was supposed to be a pet simulator. You have a virtual pet where you play with it and look after it, like a Tamagotchi. I'm not sure if this is coming as a title since they said it was a tech test, but they've developed it so they could release it, and it should be free. Please let me know if any of you have heard anything about this one, because it looks really interesting. The visuals and the audio seem fantastic. Coming from Crytek, the developers that are renowned for great visuals, we are getting The Climb. I've mentioned this in a previous video too, as this is one I'm really excited for. If you could guess from the title, you are to simply climb cliffs with beautiful landscapes, and your task is to ascend them as fast and as effective as possible, as you are scored on how you ascend, not just how fast you get to the top. I'm really excited for the atmosphere that this game is going to create, as it doesn't have the intense music that shooters or racing games can have. It lets the environment speak for itself, making use of the new reverb propagation that's available in the Quest's new SDK. Next is Dance Central VR, and in the words of the Wall Street Journal, the Quest isn't the Wii. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. Eric for President also did a great video on it. It's just so stupid. Anyway, Dance Central. VR games have been a great place for gamers to be active, and this just takes it up a notch. What is there to explain with this game? You have a character opposite you dancing, and you have to replicate the moves. This game is more about having fun and looking silly, or maybe inspiring you to start a dance crew. I look forward to this one, as you can stay active and stay in shape whilst having great fun. And because it's not that hardware intensive of a game, the visuals look like they're going to be absolutely fantastic. So on the Quest, we can expect solid frame rates and great visuals on this title. Dead and Buried 2, this is one of the most fantastic franchises on the Oculus Store, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. The fact that we're getting a sequel of this game on the Quest also promises great future support for games on the Quest as time goes on. They haven't just put everything into all the launch titles and then going to forget about us. This is a multiplayer shooter with complete freedom of movement. It really looks like such a good game. It's themed in the Wild West and has an awesome animation style to make the game look fantastic and run brilliantly on the Quest. There is a myriad of game modes. There's a shooting gallery available, not just online, so you can practice before diving into the game. There is Quick Draw, where you simply quick draw like in the classic cowboy movies. There is a Horde mode, which is likely what I'll be playing because I just love Horde zombies, where you and 3 friends can cooperatively try to survive an onslaught. And there are even more game modes. There's just so much content in this game. I'm going to be so poor when this headset comes out. The National Geographic. This is a personal favourite that hasn't had much exposure. There isn't a lot around that people are talking about, but National Geographic are creating an Oculus VR experience where you can explore the Antarctic. It's not just images where you can look around in VR, but you can ascend icy cliffs with an ice pick, explore the barren icelands, watch the Northern Lights, something I have always wanted to do. This is a great example that VR isn't just about games, it's about creating amazing experiences that were otherwise not possible. Ballista, this game was mentioned at one of the Oculus countdowns, but then we haven't been given any information on it except this image. If anyone's found anything on this, please let me know. This is a game coming from High Voltage where you have to defend your kingdom from the forces of evil, and it supports cross-buy if you're a double headset purchaser, so if you buy it on the Rift or the Quest, you can play it on the Rift or the Quest. The weapons confirmed for use in this game are a magic mirror, a slingshot and a unicorn horn. Is this game going to be a tower defense style game, because it is sounding like one? But High Voltage's other VR title, Damaged Core, is a shooter, so it could be more of a cutesy version of that. Child-friendly shooting mayhem with a unicorn horn. It sounds amazing. Death Horizon, this game is coming from the mobile market. It was available on the Go and the Gear. This is a simple zombie shooter that you can tell that they focused on the gameplay instead of all of the content, which isn't always a bad thing. It takes place in a secret lab where a virus has broken free and infected everybody. It is an on-rail shooter where you take on hordes of zombies, much like the classic arcade shooters that I grew up with. This game doesn't include any upgrades or progression. It's exactly what it says on the tin. If you've played this on your Gear or your Go, expect a graphical improvement on the Quest with much higher resolution. So maybe such a simple game can actually look like PC worthy. Drop Dead, another mobile shooter from Pixel Toys that closely resembles the incredibly legendary House of the Dead. It's an on-rails also, but provides some amazing gameplay. This one promises fast-paced action, big explosions, and an onslaught of the undead. This game doesn't take itself too seriously too, which is always so refreshing in horror games. It's like an oxymoron, isn't it? Comedy and horror. But it works. This game has additional quirks, such as reloading. You have a reticle that closes in on a sweet spot, that if you get it perfectly, you reload really fast, and this adds tension to the game, as whilst taking on enemies and you run out of ammo to reload, you have to focus on another task, and it gets intense. The evil Dr. Monday has released a zombie apocalypse, and it's up to us Quest owners to save the world. Shadowpoint, and I'm just going to say it immediately, this game has Patrick Stewart. Just a great voice for a game, especially an immersive room scale puzzle game.
Alex, my name is Edgar Mansfield.
Coming from Coatsink, we have a slower pace from the zombie shooters, a low polygon animated style game to allow great visuals on the Quest with ease. You are put into a crystal maze like room, classic, and have a puzzle to solve. Once solved, a portal opens up and takes you to the next one. It's a very unique way of creating a puzzle game, taking a rather mundane genre and making it exciting and engaging. I sound like a teacher now. How can I make maths more engaging and exciting? This game also has a story for you to follow as well, trying to figure out the mysteries of time and space in order for you to be reunited with your little girl. Aww. This game that's being titled the Wii Sports VR, it is Sports Scramble. This includes tennis, bowling and baseball. It sounds so silly, but seriously, think back how much you played Wii Tennis and bowling. This was previously called Tennis Scramble OC5, but now it's called Sports Scramble. There's not much to say that isn't on the tin. This seems like a lackluster experience, and that's maybe why they didn't just stick to the tennis side of the game and they try adding a bit more content. Thank you. Next. This is a big one, Vader Immortal, which has recently been announced as a launch title and is a timed exclusive on the Oculus Quest. This is a huge game. This is an interactive, story-driven game based after Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, and before A New Hope. The story closely follows the Sith Lord Darth Vader. Episode 1 will only be available at launch, but is expected to be a 3-part series. This game is supposed to blur the lines between cinematic experience and a video game, with interactive play using lightsabers, shooting of a blaster, and flying ships. We don't know much about this one. They've kept it quite close and hush-hush on the DL, but it's not long to go till the 21st of May, so bring it on. Journey of the Gods. This game has been heavily inspired by Zelda, coming from Turtle Rock, the creators of Left 4 Dead, that legendary game. This is an action role-playing game from the VR, which is my favourite genre. I love RPGs, and VR is the perfect platform for them, as you are literally embodying that character. You are in search for the power of the ancient gods. Now, the game title makes sense. You have a sword, a shield, and a bow to take out enemies with plenty of puzzles to solve. It really does sound like a Zelda VR game, but I guess they couldn't call it that, because Nintendo would be telling them off. There is supposed to be even more mystical weapons and magical powers once you find each of the gods. This is one of the most exciting and most anticipated game for VR users. I cannot wait. Robo Recall, this one has Rift users in awe with its amazing graphics. It is expected to have a huge graphical downgrade on the Quest, but this is to allow the same gameplay as they have on the PC version. You are a recaller who is hired to fix broken robots that have gone crazy and started murdering people. The company that owns the robots are trying to clear up the mess to keep profits. Some real life meta definitions there. You have plenty of customization of your weapons available to give the sense of progression, keeping the game fresh and your interest peaked. I feel like this is one of the most anticipated shooters on the Quest, and for good reason. This is a must-have. That's the list of titles. Please let me know if I missed anything that you are excited for. That's an exclusive to the Oculus store. I could have missed an absolute gem. Oculus is due to hit the shelves the 21st of May, and every day currently is feeling like a week. Be sure to subscribe so you can come back and get another dose of Oculus Quest hype. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.